Hare Krishna. So I'm very happy to be here, and this is my second time in Mauritius. I came last time in December, and this time I'm again fortunate to be in wonderful company of Mauritian people. And more auspicious is the event of the centennial of Hindi Pracharani Sabha. So we are also fortunate to be part of that. Actually, we are also pracharaks. Pracharaks means preachers. And preaching is very important. Education is very important. I would say the most important thing in the world is education. Because structures won't help until the person is of character. How many of you have heard about Great Wall of China? Please raise your hands. All of you, I am sure. How many of you visited there? Okay, a few visited Great Wall of China. It's such a big structure and so wide, two trucks can cross, each other. It's so wide. And it took years to build it. So much money is involved. And the purpose of that wall was to protect from the Mongolians. But you know what? These Mongolians, they managed to enter that Great Wall of China many times. And they still looted. They still plundered. How is it possible? Anyone? How they managed to do it? Any thoughts? Such a big structure, but still Mongolians, they entered and they plundered inside China. How is it possible? Yes? The Prabhu is suggesting they went underground. No, they didn't go underground. Anyone else? Sorry? The wall was not high. No, it's very high. Very high. And you didn't have choppers that time, so you can go like that. No? Anyone? Sorry? How?
They found loopholes in the construction.
They found loopholes in the construction? No, there were no loopholes in the construction. Yes? They broke the wall? No, they didn't manage to break the wall. Anyone else? Intelligently, but how? How they managed to go in? No. No.
By God's grace.
By God's grace. Okay, that's simple answer. They bribed the gatekeeper. Simple. In the middle of night, they bribed the gatekeeper and gatekeeper allowed them to go in. So see, such a big structure failed when there is no character, when there is no integrity, when there is no education of what is more important. Just for little pennies, they sold their country. Therefore, inner transformation is very, very important. What we take from here, it's not that such gatherings are just for entertainment. No, they are for transformation. They should bring some change. So today's topic is back to basics, the inner transformation. No wonder that so many problems are increasing in the world because the focus has changed from inside to outside. There is no more focus in physical ambitions. There is more focus in external development, but there is very less focus on internal development. And what happens is when these basics are lost, then anything we do, that has very little purpose. I would not say no purpose, but very little purpose. Like, if you go to school, how many of you are teachers here? Some teachers
Retired.
retired. Yeah, but you have experience of teachers, so many teachers. Suppose you are teaching a 10th grade student some concepts of trigonometry, but he has no clue of even numbers. What you will do? What you will do? Will you still teach him trigonometry? You have to tell that, look, you first need to clear your basics. Until you don't clear your basics, you can't understand higher mathematics. Like when we were studying our engineering, we used to get some algorithms, we used to get some codes to write. Now, one time our teacher told us, write a code on finding out if a number is prime number or not a prime number. Now, more than writing the code, difficult thing was many of the students were not knowing what is prime number. Another code they asked us to make is write a code to manufacture Fibonacci series. Many of us, we don't know what is Fibonacci series. So if your basics are not clear, you can't advance in life. Otherwise, our whole endeavor will be hollow like the Great Wall of China. The structure is very solid, but still very less use. So no wonder our society has grown in education, in technology, in science, but something is missing. Our founder Srila Prabhupada, when he was a young grihastha, he was a young man, 1922, just 1 year before Hindi Pracharani Sabha was founded, just 1 year before, he was a grihastha and he was with Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, and he was fighting for independence of India. One of his friend, Narendra Malik, came to him and he told that, I want to take you to one sadhu. There is one nice program and I want to take you there. He said, I have seen enough sadhus. What I will do, going there. They will just say the same thing. Do good, be good. We know all these things. I don't want to go and see another sadhu like that. More important thing is now to free India from British. That is more important. So let me focus on that, don't distract me. The friend insisted, he said, at least come once, I want to take you there. Srila Prabhupada went with his friend. And as he entered the room, he saw his guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Such effulgent personality, tall, he has wearing specs, and he was giving a lecture. As Srila Prabhupada entered the room and he offered his obeisances, straight looking to him, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati told, you are an educated man. Why don't you take these teachings of our scriptures to the Western world? Whole world needs it. It's not just for India. So you go around and preach the whole world. That time, Srila Prabhupada said he started to ask questions. He said, look, we are a dependent country. British are ruling over us. Who will listen to us? We are a slave country. If I go in Western world now and preach, who will listen to us? So freeing India is more important than preaching Krishna consciousness. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati told him, the rulers will change, but situation will not change until people are not clean at heart. And we are observing this in India. We have got independence 75 years ago. But the situation is same. The rulers have changed, but now situation is same. And same is applicable all over the world. The inner transformation is very, very important. Tell me which part of your body is most important? Which part of your body is most important? How many of you have used motorcycles in your life? Please raise your hand. Motorcycles or bicycles? Yes? How you protect yourself? Helmet. Why only helmet? Why not maybe a cover for nails? Why only helmet? Because head is most important part of your body. If body is fit but mind is not fit, then we cannot relish this world. Suppose you have been invited in a marriage, in your relative's marriage, and they arrange an elaborate feast, maybe 56 items of your choice. Best air condition of the world is installed there. Best music, what you like, is installed there. Nice curtains, nice carpet, nice furniture, and you are given good cutlery of gold to eat. And as you are about to eat, the host comes and says, "You hungry man, eat whatever you like." Will you be able to eat? Just those few words will spoil your mind, will spoil your mood. In the same way, if our mental health is not good, physical health will have very little utility. Therefore, although science is advancing a lot and we are getting benefit of it, like we came from India to Mauritius in flight in just 5 to 6 hours. Imagine we have to come by ship. We were just checking out how to come by ship. It was showing us it will take 13 days. See, we come by ship, it will take 13 days, but now we came in 5 to 6 hours. So yes, we are taking help of science, but we should understand our roots. What are our roots? What are the values which are more important than external advancement? And that is today's discussion. We are not talking about going back to history and living in primitive life. Being primitive and sticking to your basics are two different things. Values make foundation. Being primitive means not foundation. Like here are some examples. Like ancient Greeks believed in zombies. And they made some statues of their ancestors. And what they used to do, they used to break nose of their ancestors. You know why? They used to break this nose of the statue of their ancestors. Because they used to think by this statue our ancestors will breathe, they will come back and they will claim on the property. That's the weird traditions they followed. In Europe, they used pebbles and broken ceramics as toilet paper. And many times they wrote their enemy's name on it. Every day you can take revenge. But they don't have any idea of cleanliness. Men used to work naked. They were not having any clue of clothes. This one, I don't want to read this, but this was also the tradition. Racism was very, very prominent, where whites were distinguished from blacks. There were different schools, there were different institutions, public transport, everything was separate. Women were considered slaves. In Europe, you will be astonished to hear, women were not allowed to go to the clubs, they were not allowed to go to the social gatherings, they were not allowed to go to social functions. Only they can go with their husband, and they are not allowed to speak even if they go. They can't hold money, they can't go to the bank. And that led to the women liberals to fight. They consider widows as witches and burned. I am talking about primitive cultures of the world. They burned. Many of the European countries, they ate dead bodies, thinking them to be high in nutrition. In Africa, there is a tradition. I don't know if some of you may be aware of it. In some communities in Africa, when the person grows old, maybe 70, 75 years old, then their children and grandchildren, they arrange a big festival. Big festival. They call whole village. They decorate their home. Big feast. And you know what is the main ingredients of that feast? They cut that person, boil, and they serve. That's the culture. They think that now is 75, no more use, let's have some feast. So I am talking about the primitive cultures because many times people think that, oh, don't go to basics because that is primitive. This is not what we are looking for. We are looking for advancement at the same time keeping values intact. Can you imagine world without electricity? Can you imagine? It's more like oxygen now. If you don't get oxygen, it's fine, but you need electricity. This one is more serious. Life without phone. On 7th, we have Janmashtami festival, and devotees of ISKCON they fast. But sometimes devotees joke that this fasting is easy. Fasting from food is easy. Most difficult fasting is fasting from your phone. And you can experience this if you go to some foreign country when your phone doesn't have reception, airtime. You can experience this. You feel like you have time of the whole world. What to do? Addiction. But things have made our life simpler also. So this advancement is necessary. We are depending on it. As I was talking about aviation, I was talking about communication, I was talking about electricity. These things are important, no doubt. But do we feel that something is still missing? Srila Prabhupada felt it when he met his Guru Maharaj. His Guru Maharaj told, as I was mentioning, that rulers will change, situation will not change. Because inside, people are suffering. And when somebody suffers inside, no matter how much you give the pampering to the external body, he will not be happy. A simple example is you take fish out of water. You know, in our India, this childhood, they sing this poem. मछली जल की रानी है, जीवन उसका पानी है, हाथ लगाओगे डर जाएगी, बाहर निकालोगे मर जाएगी. So fish has to be in water. If you take out from water, fish will die. Same is our condition. Something is missing. Although the world is advancing, the technology is advancing, everything is advancing, but there is a pinprick. Understand pinprick? Like you're sitting on the seat, if something is pricking you, how long you can sit? You can't sit. Something is pinpricking this society. What is that? There were one time 3 friends. They went on a holiday and they chose to stay in a hotel which was 100-story building. And they chose the top floor room, the 100th floor room. What happened? When they came back from their tour, the lift was not working. Now they have to climb 100 floors. As they were climbing, they thought, this climbing is too much of endeavor and we have to keep each other motivated. So they thought a crazy idea. They thought that let's share scary stories with each other. And that will keep us more engaged and we will climb. We'll forget the endeavor of climbing and sharing scary stories, horror stories. So the first boy, he started speaking, scary story. I'll not go into scary stories. We are in long mountain valley. I don't want to mention any scary stories. But first boy shared a scary story and they managed to climb 30 floors. He said, it's a very nice idea. So let's hear from second boy. Second boy also told one scary story, horror story. And they managed to climb another 90 floors. So they are already on 90 floors. Now the third boy was told, okay, they see only 10 floors are remaining. You tell us a quick, scary story. He said, I am going to tell you the most scary story of your life. And it's very quick. We have left the keys in the car. That's what today's world is. We are climbing, but where are the keys? Where is the satisfaction? Why people are suffering? Why people are going to psychiatrists? Why there is so much stress? That is what is missing. There is this poem, I am sure many of you must have heard this, Paradox of Our Times. Today we have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences but less time. We have more degrees but less common sense, more knowledge but less judgment. We have more experts but more problems, more medicine but less wellness. One time, three special doctors were sitting. Any doctors here? Don't mind this story. Three doctors were sitting and they were having nice time. They were talking to each other. In the meantime, they saw one man was limping. So they were discussing among themselves. One said, he has problem in his bones. And they started telling some scientific terms, this specific bone is not functioning properly, and like our Varat Krishna Prabhu has a surgery of his bones, the wrist, so this particular bone is not working. And this. Another doctor said, no, you didn't detect it properly. Actually, he must have problem in his muscles. There is some problem in muscles and tissues and this and that. The third person said, no, he has some problem with his vitamins and potassium and other salt imbalance, so therefore he is limping. So they started to fight. Then they were such, the heavy mood, they said, okay, let us go and ask the men what exactly is the problem. And whoever will win will give treat to others. So they went and they asked, why are you limping? The first one said, you have problem in bones, right? He said, no, I don't have any problem in bones. He said, you have problem in muscles, right? No, I don't have any problem in muscles. He said, you have problem with potassium, with some salt, some chemical imbalance? No, I am full, fit and fine. Then why are you limping? He said, my slippers broke. Therefore I am limping. This is the problem. We are more experts, but more problems. We have multiplied our possessions, but reduced our values. We talk too much, love too little, and lie too often. So the values have degraded to such degree. One time, one of our devotees were traveling in a flight, and when they prepare for takeoff, the staff they tell you to switch off your phones, switch off your children, shut down your children, make them sit, put on your seat belt. So one mother and her child were sitting, and this child was very adamant that he doesn't want to put seat belt, screaming, shouting at mother. So the air hostess came and told, you have to put belt on your child. You managed to put it. But the child was not listening. So air hostess said, okay, the takeoff is going, you put the seat belt, I am going to my seat. As the air hostess turned, she heard big sound of slapping. She turned and thought that maybe the mother slapped the poor child. I will take the child. But that was not the case. The child slapped the mother. Less values. We have learned how to make living, but not a life. We have added years to our life, not life to our years. We have more leisure and less fun, more kinds of foods, but less nutrition. Two incomes, but more diverse. In America in 1960s, there were very few divorce cases. By 1970s and 80s, this divorce rate increased to 85 to 90%. And now the divorce rate reduced. You know why? Why divorce rate reduced in America now? They're not getting married. Because they know that we have to separate. Love at first sight, divorce at first fight. I don't like your style of brushing teeth, let's get divorced. This is the culture. Fancier houses but broken homes. There is so much in the show window, but very little in the godown, very little in the shop. That is material world. And therefore, people are suffering inside. They are hollow inside. Even four members of family, they come together, they can't talk to each other. If there is some misunderstandings, they need a fifth person to sort out their problem. Husband, wife, their problem, they need third person to sort out their problem. People are suffering inside. And there is excessive competitive drive. You know how crabs function. If you put say 10 or 15 crabs in a pot, you don't need to put the lid. Because if some crab want to come out, other crab will pull it down. That is today's world. The ego works so bad. People ruin their life because of ego. In our India, there is one Eno. You've heard of it? Eno, sachets. It says, काम सुधारे 6 सेकंड में. And there is ego, काम बिगाड़े 6 सेकंड में. It can spoil everything in 6 seconds. And therefore people, they go for psychiatrists. Nothing wrong about psychiatrists, but it means how much people are sick. Like if in a country there are say 100,000 people suffering from polio and handicapped, is it a very good news? So day by day the psychiatrists are increasing. That means what? People's mental health is suffering. I recently visited Bangalore, and in India Bangalore is an IT hub. A lot of engineers and educated people. It's booming like anything in industries, in technology. Is one of the first smart cities of India. So the situation there is 34 to 40% of people, they go to psychiatrists. Is it less number? And more interestingly, 1 out of 3 psychiatrists go to another psychiatrist. Because they are hearing so much, they themselves get affected by it. Even when they study this, when they study psychology and these things, by studying pre-psychiatric issues, psychiatric issues, hyper-psychiatric issue, by studying, they become psychiatric. They become themselves patient. Like I will tell you one example. How many of you, after locking your main door, you went back to your bedroom and you thought, maybe I have not locked it properly. Let me go back and check. How many of you experienced this? Please raise your hands. This is pre-psychiatric issue. Now you are not knowing this. You are not knowing this. But once now you know this, now whenever it will happen, you say, oh, am I going mad or what? So when you hear these things, you go more and more into that situation. Can you tell who is boss among these 4? Can you recognize? 3 are employees, 1 is boss. Can you tell me which one is boss? The first one? How you identify? He looks disturbed because he has to handle with 3 other brains. Handling your own brain is difficult. Handling others' brain is furthermore difficult. Therefore, purpose of life is not just to gather gadgets. It's not just to gather things. It's to gather values. Everything has a purpose. Eating has purpose. Is satisfaction, nutrition. Sleeping has function. Bathing has function. What is the function of education? Education is only for getting degrees and getting jobs. Education is just to get money. In India, when you go, you ask any education institute. The rank of education institute means how many employments that institution has given. That is the highest rank. And how much package they can offer. But purpose of education is transformation. If you are a transformed person, that means you have taken education properly. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmano Gavi Hastari Suni Chaiva Sopakecha Pandita Samadarshina. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. When you get Vidya, education, you become Vinaya, you become humble. And in that vision, you see everyone equal, even animal, even a dog eater, even a brahmana, even a tree, even an elephant, you see everyone equally. That is education. So education should make you wiser. Education should not make you miser. It should make you wiser, not miser. That is purpose of education. Like there is example of Socrates. Very famous person, very intelligent person. But he had a mismatch. His wife was very troublemaker. So every day when he used to come back home, wife used to chastise him. Oh, you have not done this is not fixed, that is not fixed. And he would simply go and sit on the doorstep. You scream and shout, he just used to sit on the doorstep. One day the wife became very angry that I shout every day and he doesn't respond. What she did, she took bucket of water and put on the head of Socrates. People were watching outside because he's sitting on the doorstep. They were smiling. And Socrates told, it was thundering little while ago, now it's raining. So don't worry, it's natural. So you have to be wiser. There's no point of being wiser. Don't exploit. And therefore mental health, mental character is more important than external education. Your mind can be your friend or your mind can be your enemy. When mind is uncontrolled, mind is the worst enemy. Because now mind is dictating you. You have goal in life, you have values in life, but mind will not allow you to follow. We know what is good, we know what is bad, but still we can't catch good and we can't give up bad. This is uncontrolled mind. And your mind can be good, then your mind can be a object, a tool to become victorious. There is the result of uncontrolled mind. This is Mumbai Taj Hotel, the famous attacks of 26/11. They were educated people. When World Trade Center was collapsed by terrorists, they were engineers who hijacked the plane. They knew exactly what can go through security, and once we are in, we can assemble it and turn into guns and explosive materials. So they were educated people, but how they use their mind? In destruction. Therefore, the basis of our life should be values. What is this? What is this? US dollar. In US dollars, they write, in God we trust. But is there really that value is in the country? Not just about US, any country for that sake. In courts in India, they make you take vow on Bhagavad Gita. Have you seen in Bollywood movies? I am sure Mauritian people see a lot of Bollywood movies. So they make you take vow on Bhagavad Gita. But really, are people taking that vow seriously? They speak all kind of lies in court. And the result is, when we don't have these values based on God consciousness, when we don't have values based on scriptures given by the Supreme Lord, then whatever you are seeing, it will just collapse one day. We have a recent experience of coronavirus. Small little virus, it made whole world stand still. One time one elephant was there. In our childhood we used to discuss a lot of Hati Chiti Kahaniya. There's famous jokes of elephant and ant. So one time an elephant was making a lot of trouble in jungle. Is to smash people and uproot trees and this and that. So everybody was frustrated by this elephant. One day they requested the ant. Mrs. Ant, can you help us? This elephant is troubling us a lot. Ant said, yes, I can solve your problem. She was so confident. What Ant did, she climbed on the body of elephant, went into the ear of elephant. He started dancing in the ear. What will happen? The elephant became irritated, is jumping, is crawling, doing so many things. But you can't do anything. Your ant is in the ear. What you can do? Then ant said, because it's on ear anyway, the ant told the elephant, will you trouble jungle again? He said, no. Then only I will leave you. This is coronavirus. Little virus. God is giving little signal. Are you going to follow some values in life? Or you will just exploit each other? Otherwise, again become mouse. This story our Srila Prabhupada used to share. There was one mouse. He went to this sage. He said, my dear sage, I am in a lot of trouble. Can you help me? He said, yes, I can help you. What is the trouble? He said, cat chases after me. Can you make me cat? He said, okay, be a cat. So mouse became cat. Now he's roaming around. After a few days, again he came to the sage. No, 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 please help me, please help me. He said, what happened? I made you cat. He said, now tiger chases me. So make me a tiger. So okay, so be it. The cat became tiger. Now as he became tiger, he started staring the sage. He said, what? You want to eat me? He said, yes. Sage said, again become mouse. I made you tiger and you're trying to eat me, you're trying to harm me, again become mouse. So this is our situation. By God's grace, we have developed in life. Without His mercy, we can't do anything. And now we have intelligently removed God from our life. What will happen? Again become mouse. So we have to save ourselves from this situation. There is famous example of Hiranyakashipu. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Hiranyakashipu was so powerful. He did austerities standing on one toe. Any dancers here who can dance on toes? It's very difficult. And they may give performance for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. He was standing on one toe of his leg with his hand raised for thousands of years. Can you imagine the austerity? And then he pleased Brahma. Brahma gave him nice benediction of permutation and combination. You heard this. You will not die in night, you will not die in day, you will don't die in sky, you will not die in ground. Your animal cannot kill you, man cannot kill you, things like that. So you get nice combination of benedictions. But after getting that benediction, how powerful he became? If he ordered a jackfruit tree that I want mango, then jackfruit tree has to give mango to Hiranyakashipu. If he wants that today it should not rain, then it will not rain. That was the power of Hiranyakashipu. But his mistake was, while doing austerities, he was following scriptures, he was worshipping Brahma. After getting benediction, he gave up. And he declared, I am God, worship me. How many years he could enjoy, Thousands of years of austerities, but he enjoyed only for 5 years. Just like Indian politics, 5 years, and he changed prime minister. 5 years, because Prahlad was born when he came back home, and when Prahlad was 5 years old, he started giving torture to his son, because his son was a devotee. And then there was first surgery of this world, open surgery without anesthesia. Lord Nrsingadev came and he killed Hiranyakashipu. So we don't want to go into that situation. Rather, our life should be based on values of scriptures, on the mercy of the Supreme Lord. We have example of Arjun in Mahabharata. Before the battle started, Arjun became completely bewildered. Seeing his relatives, he said, I am lacking my confidence. My bow is slipping from my hands. I can't fight with my own relatives. Then Krishna told him the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Now skills Duryodhana also had. How many of you will keep your son's name as Duryodhana? Anyone? Have you heard any relative's name as Duryodhana? No. But how many of you have any relative with name Arjun, Partha, Sabyasachi, Dhananjay? Why you want to know him? Why you want to call them with Arjun's name, not Duryodhana's name? They both are fighting, both have skills. But Arjun has values. Arjun has God by his side. This is what we have to add in our life. We have to add God in our life. There are 3 modes which govern us. And you can see how they're controlling your mind. Sometimes you feel like cleaning whole home. Sometimes you don't even want to clean your own bed. The modes govern us. If somebody is mode of ignorance, they can't take quick decisions. Mode of ignorance means lazy. Mode of ignorance means they can't take decisions. They don't have energy. But better than mode of ignorance is mode of passion. What mode of passion does? Mode of passion will give you energy but no direction. Actually, it is more dangerous. Sleeping man at least will not harm anyone. But if somebody is active but he is not having any direction, he will harm himself, he will harm others. But mode of goodness means one is active as well as one has direction. One has wisdom and energy. That is Arjun. Duryodhana has passion but no direction. Arjun has passion plus direction. That is mode of goodness. So I will just summarize this in three main qualities, that how this mode of goodness can be adopted in our life. There are three main qualities which we all should take this evening. We should take away, we should walk away with this lesson. In our life, we need three things: competence, character, devotion. Can you repeat? Competence, character, devotion. All these three are important. I will ask you a question. Suppose you are stuck in a place during lockdown, during pandemic. Okay, it's easier to imagine because we just passed through it a few years back. You are in a place, there is no doctors except two, and you need to have an urgent surgery of your very close relative. There is no other doctor, you can't travel to any other city. Only two doctors. One doctor is Krishnadas. This doctor is a general practitioner. He generally cures some common cold, fever and few things. Not an expert. He doesn't do surgeries. Another doctor is a very qualified doctor. He has 10 gold medals, very accomplished surgeon. Only one bad habit, little bad habit. He steals organs. Whom you will approach? You have only two doctors. First one, how many say first one? But first one doesn't know surgery. Then what will happen? How many of say second one? Still some. But here he can steal your kidney. Then? No one. Then you will die. We have to die one day, so better die today. No. Anyone? Think. First one?
His name is Krishna Das.
Yes.
If you teach Krishna consciousness,
Then disease will be cured? Okay. You can have both of them together. The second one will operate and first one will look that he doesn't steal any organ. First one is example of competence. First one is example of character. And second one is example of competence. You need both. You can't be a devotee but not doing your responsibilities. Nobody is asking you to do that. That, oh, you just chant and you just attend these meetings, don't take care of family, don't take care of business, don't learn things, don't do things. That is not the purpose of this session. You have to have competence. Go with the world. The world is progressing, learn technology, take help of science. Imagine if a thief is running, the police has to use some vehicle to catch the thief. If the thief is in some fast driven vehicle, police has to have helicopter to catch him. In the same way, if you want to change the world, you have to learn the technology better than anyone else. So competence is required, no doubt about it. But competence should also be supplemented with character. So that is also very important. Here are some examples of Hansi Cronje, very famous cricketer. And he was such a famous person. On his birthdays, he used to get millions of wishes. He has so many followers. One time he was caught doing match fixing. After that, all his followers are gone. His skills are same. He was same cricketer which was before, but just by hearing this news of match fixing, they'll forsaken him. So much so that when he died in a crash, the newspaper denied to print that news in the newspaper also. That is what the world is. If you are not having character, the competence will have no value. So competence, skills, talent make life colorful, but character, values make life useful. Talking about Ravan, Ravan is a very famous character in our scriptures. Such a competent person, but nobody likes him because of his loose character. One mistake of kidnapping Sita, whole dynasty is finished. Therefore, we need both balance of character and competence. Arjuna was highly competent, skilled, and also he had character. There is a famous quote: if wealth is lost, it can be regained. If health is lost, it can be restored. If character is lost, everything is lost. And you know what is character? Simple definition of character. Character is what you do when you are alone, when no one is watching you. That is character. So, these both terms are very important, and these are some principles of good character. This is given in our scriptures. In Srimad Bhagavatam, we have personified Kali. Kali Yuga is the age in which we are in. And Kali Yuga means age of quarrel, age of hypocrisy. And you know what are the 4 places where this Kali lives? Srimad Bhagavatam tells Kali lives in 4 places: meat eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex. Wherever people are following these 4 things, there cannot be peace. Can you have peace in life killing innocent animals and eating in your dinner plate? Can you imagine to have peace in your life? Can you have peace when gambling is focused on exploiting others, looting others, and making quick money? Can you have peace while doing intoxication? What is the meaning of the word toxic? What is the meaning of the word toxic? Toxin. What is the meaning? Poison. Intoxication means taking in poison. Can your life be better by taking poison? And illicit relations. 90% of the crime, there was a survey, 90% of the crime are based because of illicit relations. These 4 things ruin people's character. If you can give up these 4 things, our scriptures promise sin cannot touch you. Your character will automatically be ideal if you can avoid these 4 things. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, and no intoxication. But there is third principle, which is the foundation of both character and competence, which gives you energy. You need motivation to follow anything. Like students, they study for marks. Employees, they work for salary. So we all need motivation in life. We need energy to be driven in our path. So this character and competence are most important values of our life, but the foundation is devotion. God is that source of all energy. God is the source of that positivity in your life. See, people who are abiding by the laws of God, they cannot harm anyone. Therefore, religion has its own place. Religion without this foundation of devotion, without this foundation of philosophy, will just become sentiment. You know, one time in marriage, there was just the time for this. You know, in India we have fere. You have it same here, fere? Circumambulation of the fire, fere. This is the most prominent feature of the marriage. Everyone gathers. So everyone was together and there was time of fere. And that time there was one cat. Cat was jumping around here and there, troubling everyone. So one old lady, what she did, she took a basket and she put on the cat upside down. So the cat doesn't trouble the ceremony. And then person they did the fere and they married. Now when they had children, the children grew up and in their marriage, when the time of fere came, this wife of the person, he told, no, there cannot be fere because one ritual is remaining. Bring the cat, put it under a basket, then fere can happen. So rituals without proper devotion, rituals without proper philosophy will just remain sentiments. We're not talking about that devotion, but devotion based on faith. And that combination will bring in best society. That is the best combination of world. Prabhupada used to say the simple analogy of a lame person and a blind person. There were two persons in a village. One was lame, he cannot walk, but he can see. Another person was fit, but he was blind. Now once there was fire in the village. Everyone ran away. But now these two persons, how they ran? One is lame, another is blind. So the blind person took lame person on his shoulders. Now lame person cannot walk, but he can see. And blind person cannot see, but he can walk. So lame person started to give him direction. Go like this, go like that. And this blind person was walking. This is best combination for the world. We have competence and character is like a blind person. Is strength but blind, no direction. And devotion to the Supreme Lord is like giving direction. So it can take us forward. Therefore both are important, Vedic wisdom with modern education. And this devotion has been given in Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures. So we should adopt this in our life. Now you may say there are so many scriptures, so many teachings. How much I will follow? I am a working person. I have family to attend. I have responsibilities to attend. How much I can do? You don't need to do much. In Kali Yuga, the simple method for enriching your devotion is chanting of the holy name. Harir Nama, Harir Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatirannaya. Since we are living in Kali Yuga, which is a very busy age, where there were little values, so expectation of God is also very little. He says, okay, you can't do anything, just chant my name. Is it very difficult task? Previously, people used to do big havan, big yagyas. One person was very adamant in America. I want to do yagya. So we told him, see, in Kali Yuga, you just chant holy name. You don't need yagya. He said, no, I want to do yagya. So okay, devotees arranged for a yagya in his house. As they started to do yagya, the fire sensor caught smoke. And the automatic water started dripping in whole house. In 5 minutes, his house became swimming pool. He said, what did you do? He said, in Bhagavad Gita it is written, when you do yagya, rains come. So your yagya is successful. So you don't need to take all this trouble of doing yagyas and big tapasya like Hiranyakashipu. We don't want to do that. Our scriptures say in Kali Yuga, the simple process is chanting of holy name. And when you chant this holy name, you can see how slowly you are enriching your inner self. This will build you internally. And when your inner self will be built, your character will be enriched. When your character will be enriched, you can use your skills and competence much more efficiently. This is complete package of a spiritual life. This is what basics is. This is missing in this world. And how it should start? It start from neighbor. Where it should start? It start from us. It start from me. So this simple process, when you go back home, you can chant this holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. This Mahamantra has transformed millions of lives. American society was suffering. The youth of America was suffering. They left their education, they left their career, they became hippies. When they started chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they became such revolutionaries that they went all over the world and changed the world. Can you imagine in 10 years' time, ISKCON was spread all over the world with 108 temples. It's a record in itself in the history. And who did it? Hippies. The boys and girls who were in intoxication, they lost all hope in life. They could do this task because this inner strength of devotion enriched them. So yes, let us advance in our spiritual science, let us advance in our technology, but we should keep our inner self enriched by having devotion to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So thank you very much for listening so patiently and responding so well. If anyone has any questions, we can take a couple of questions. Do we have time? Over time? So we can have a couple of questions. Anyone? I know the first one has to take lead, then other questions come. Yes.
You said character is when you're alone. When you're alone, you have nothing to compare, nothing to be jealous of, nothing to be, all the bad qualities you don't have because you're alone.
So the question is, yeah, I got it. The question is, I said character is what you do when you are alone. So he's saying that when you are alone, you have nothing to compare, nothing to take decision of. No. Being alone means when you're taking decision within yourself. Okay, what should I do with my life? I have 2 hours. Should I sleep? This is my character. Should I try to steal something? That is my character. Or let me read Bhagavad Gita for these 2 hours and enrich myself. This is my character. So how we judge a person when he is alone, how he utilizes time and energy. That is character. So that builds the person. Okay? Yes.
You can have character and competence. But in this world of Kali, most of the time, people having these two, they are misunderstood. Why?
Because in the race of rats, only rat will win. If you start running in a rat race, and if you manage to win, you'll still be a rat. So we don't want certificates from criminals. Suppose today I go to jail, I went to a jail, to do a program. And when I went to a jail, they started asking me, Prabhuji, aapne kya crime kiya? What crime you did you came to jail? No, I didn't do crime. I came to teach you Bhagavad Gita. So as Atmaman Mannate Jagat, as you are, you think about others. That is the problem. So we don't want certificate from people who are exploiting others. We want certificate from the Supreme Lord. We want to impress Him, not others. So if they misunderstand, doesn't matter, it's their problem. We want to enrich our life. We want to live a peaceful life. So that when we die, we don't have any lamentation. We should die with a smiling face. That should be our aim. We don't want to impress others and die with a sunken face. Right? Anyone else? So thank you very much, and please forgive me. I may have quoted some examples, and if somebody offended, please forgive. My only purpose was to give message in a lighter note. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hindi Pracharan